So wherever you are, I want you to just let yourself become comfortable. Whether you're sitting down or lying down, just let yourself take a few deep breaths. Let your body be comfortable. And just listen to my voice. And today we're going to be talking about trance and all the different ways people can experience trance and do experience trance. When I say that word, I want you just to see what that feels like. Close your eyes and see what that feels like, that idea of trance. And for some of you, even thinking about that idea might be sending you into a light state of trance, and that's perfectly fine. For others of you, that might happen the next few minutes as we talk, and that's perfectly fine as well. Just let yourself experience what you're experiencing now. And enjoy. And I want to talk about different ways that trance can feel, and this idea of contradictions in trance, but also the idea that multiple things can be happening at once, almost dialectics of trance, different ideas that seem different but also happen at the same time. So, for example, heaviness is something a lot of people will experience in trance. I might make suggestions about your body getting heavy, loose, heavy limbs. I know some hypnotists will talk about taking deep, heavy breaths. Maybe the weight of your thoughts getting heavier and heavier. And I don't know what heaviness is like for you in trance, what it feels like. If there's an image, if there's a word, if there's a sound associated with that heavy feeling. But I want you to start to see if you can find that heaviness inside yourself. What does it feel like to have heaviness in trance? And go ahead and take a moment. That might be something you consciously find. That might be something you just continue to listen and you find when you're unconscious, can just find it, and that's fine. You can just notice as well that sometimes people will experience some lightness in trance. Maybe it's a lightness of their thoughts. Maybe there's a sensation of floating, of lightness, things floating away. I know for me, sometimes it's a tingliness in my fingers. Maybe it's just the lightness of your thoughts, feeling lighter and easier, more distant. And again, I don't know what that lightness feels like for you. If that's a concrete thing you can really hold on to, or if that's something that you're just listening to and you're wondering about and you're finding, even as you don't know that you're finding it, you can just know that lightness and that heaviness and that lightness. And I wonder if there's a part of you that can have both of those sensations, and as you have them, just find the exact middle of them. Just the exact middle point between heaviness and lightness. The exact fulcrum. The exact center of those two things. And maybe you're finding it easily. Maybe your mind keeps going back and forth between heavy and light, light and heavy, and that's fine. As it goes back and forth, at some point it can settle on that center between those two things. And you can focus there consciously between those two or unconsciously, and you can also take into account as we move on that some people will have the sensation in trance of intense focus. They'll feel very focused on someone's voice. They'll feel very focused on any pleasant bodily sensations. They'll feel very focused, intensely so, on what they're being told. And in those same people, there might be a sense of unfocus. Maybe they're focused on the words, but unfocused on their body. Maybe they're unfocused on the words, but focused on the sound of my voice. Maybe the thoughts just kind of become unfocused and hazy in their mind, while the suggestions become nice and tightly focused. I don't know where your balance of focus and unfocus lies on that axis, but I'm wondering if you can find that center point between focus and unfocus, just like you're finding that center point between lightness and heaviness, between lightness and focus and unfocus and heaviness. Imagining those on axes, of which there's a center point right there between all those sensations. And as long as you hold on to that center point, you can just let yourself breathe and be right in the center. And around that center, around those axes, maybe you can see or feel those different trances you've experienced, or those different trances you've heard of other people experiencing, all those different ways of being in trance, just kind of popping up around that center, popping up and mapping themselves around that center. All the ways you've been in trance, all the ways that trance can feel, all those trances that people have been in all over the world, all those different trances that exist and are existing now and can exist. And you can just kind of imagine yourself finding yourself also the center point of those. The center point of all those trances, all those overlaps, just trying to find the center of being in trance. That exact center point of being in trance, experiencing what that's like to be there at the center point. Maybe it feels like being suspended in the moment. Maybe it feels like there's so many contradictions, so many contradictory forces, so many contradictory ways of being in trance. And you're feeling the pull of each of those, but you feel the pull just equals out, and you can just be still there at the center, full of the potential for all of these different things. For all of these different sensations, suggestions, trances, all of these different experiences, just centered, suspended, there, at the center of all of those ideas. Good, full of that potential, and noticing what it's like to be full of potential for trance. It's almost like that idea of potential energy you learned in school, the idea of a ball being at the top of the hill. That ball is full of potential energy. Knowing that an object at rest remains at rest, and you can remain at rest. Be full of that potential, still suspending yourself in the center of all those sensations. At rest. And knowing that any suggestion that I give, any idea that I start to describe, would be almost like a finger or a hand pushing that ball down the hill, telling it where to go, guiding its motions, guiding it down. But now you're just at the top of the hill, waiting, suspended, at rest, potential, energy, knowing your potential for energy. Now you can actually imagine yourself within that ball. That ball. I can just take my finger and push it, and it rolls down, 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 further, faster, all the way down till it's caught by my hand. Again, it's that deeper potential, deeper down, and full of potential. Maybe my hand can slowly lower as you go deeper and deeper down, feeling that lowering. From there, of course, I could take that potential energy and throw you up, higher, 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 up out of trance, and then down, 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 caught again. And that could be really fun. That potential energy, that suspension just caught. We can even do this. Not quite such a high throw. So I throw you up, 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 almost out of trance, and then down, 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 caught. Good. Letting my hands sink just a little bit lower as that ball lowers, as you're just sinking down. My hand can stop. And then you can have that potential still inside of you, that potential energy for listening, for reacting, for acting, for being suggestible. And I can put that ball at the top of the hill where it was before, just suspended. And take my hand off, knowing that an object at rest will remain at rest. Knowing that potential for energy, for insight, for suggestion, for trance is still very much inside you. Feeling that potential there. You'll still have that in the future when you experience trance. Me or anyone, knowing more and more of your potential. But right now, I'm going to count you up out of this state, coming up easily and effortlessly at 1, taking a breath, feeling energy rush up into your body, 2, feeling more and more awake, and 3. Welcome back.